Okay, the first thing I did was go to the hardware store and get a bunch of cheap 2x4s and some 1x6 cedar fencing boards. Then I cut 6 pieces of 2x4 at 8.5 inches and 6 pieces of 2x4 at 36 inches. Then I attached each of the 8.5 inch pieces to one end of the 36 inch pieces, and these will make the 6 braces. Then I cut 4 pieces at 60 inches of the 2x4 and 4 pieces at 32 inches. And then I made 2 big rectangles. This will be the top shelf and the bottom shelf. Then I set one of the rectangles on top of each of the 6 legs and attached them with deck screws. Then I cut 6 pieces at 20.5 inches. These will be the braces for the top table. Then I went ahead and set the top rectangle on. Then I cut 2 pieces at 32 inches of 2x4, and these will be center bracing. Okay, so the shelving is just 1x6 cedar fence boards. And I cut 12 of them at 60 inches. Then I cut notches to go around the legs on the bottom shelf. Then I just secured these down with 1.5 inch galvanized nails. Then I just went ahead and laid the rest of the pieces on there, and I just kind of eyeballed the spacing. And then finished nailing them down with the 1.5 inch galvanized nails. Then I went ahead and did the same for the top, just eyeballed all 6 of the pieces. Then I went ahead and took 3 of the 2x4s and ripped them down to 1.5 inch square pieces. And that gives me 6 pieces out of 3 2x4s. Then I went ahead and cut 6 pieces of the 1.5 by 1.5 at 13 inches and 6 pieces at 14.5 inches. Then I screwed these together, making 3 rectangles, and I'll use these for the top supports. Just make sure you pre-drill before you screw these, because I didn't do that on one of them and I had a little blowout. You'll probably see it, but I tried to cover it up. And then for the back at the top, I cut 2 of the 1.5 by 1.5 at 60 inches and 3 of them at 27 inches. And then screwed them together. And this will be my back wall. And when you put these together, make sure that your centerpiece lines up with the bracing on the top. That way you can screw it down. And then I stood it up and screwed it down with 3-inch deck screws. Then I went ahead and screwed the 3 rectangle frames onto the deck and screwed them to the back wall. And these will be the bracing for the top shelf. Then before it got too heavy, I figured it was time to move it out to its permanent location underneath the madrone tree. See, it's a good thing I didn't put a deck on that trailer. Laziness does pay off sometimes. Made it easier to put this on there. Then I went ahead and cut a bunch of the 1x6 cedar to go onto the top shelf. Then I just nailed them down with 1.5 inch galvanized nails. Then I cut a bunch of the fencing at 60 inches and then nailed them onto the back wall. Then I cut a couple braces right here to hold the very top shelf on. And I cut that at 62 inches, and it kind of overhangs an inch on each side. Then I went and found me some welded wire, and I went ahead and just cut a couple squares of that to put on each side. Then I just secured it with some screws and big washers.